Hello and welcome to the Meditation Conversation. I'm your host, Kara Goodwin, and today I'm joined by Wayne Altman. Wayne is an entrepreneur and founder of Melody Clouds. After suffering from tinnitus, he eventually found long sought relief through the sounds of binaural beats. That led him to creating Melody Clouds to offer vast selection of binaural beats and solfeggio tones to users for a modest price. So, welcome, Wayne. I'm so excited to talk to you today.
Feeling is mutual. So thank you for having me. I've been really looking forward to
Absolutely.
this.
Yes. Well, I want to just start with your journey with tinnitus and how that led you to Melody Clouds.
Yeah, back last May, I have suffered with tinnitus or tinnitus for 30 years. I spent 8 years in the military, and loud noises, whether it's music, whether it's explosions, whatever it is, loud noises cause damage to your ears. And what you're hearing, whether it's a whoosh or whether it's a ringing or a screeching, is the damage that you've caused. So I suffered from this I still do. I'm hearing it right now.
Hmm.
But for 30 years, I never heard silence until a friend of mine said, "Hey, have you ever tried binaural beats?" And I'm like, look at me. I don't even, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? I don't even know what that is. And he said, well, we'll put one frequency in one ear, we'll put one frequency in another ear, and your brain will create a third frequency that it will actually hear. So I'm like, okay, cool. And the third time we tried it, I heard nothing.
Really?
And I mean, when I say nothing, I mean, it was like I was in a hole. I had not heard silence in over 30 years.
Wow.
And that was so powerful to me. I mean, I'm getting emotional now. I mean, it was like, and I thought, what did you just do? I
Right.
wasn't deaf. I could hear like other sounds and stuff, but I did not hear that. And it was very odd feeling. So that was kind of my introduction.
And I'm curious because there was that, you tried it 3 times and it was the third time that happened. So was it a matter of getting the frequency? Like, were you
Yes.
listening to
Yeah, we
different
listen to
frequencies?
different frequencies. So
Okay.
basically what happens is, and there's a whole list on Melody Clouds, there's a whole list of frequencies and what they do. Now,
Mm.
Kara, I am the least woo-woo, crunchy person on the planet, okay? Forgive me. I am just not that guy.
Mhm.
But the science of what we're talking about really, really makes sense once you get into it, once you dive into it. Okay.
Yeah.
Melody Clouds, our tagline, our motto is take charge of your mood. And that's what this music does. It allows you to, if you're feeling sad, to not feel sad, to take charge of that. And
Mm.
we can get more into that. But I am, I'm beginning to get to see a little bit more clearly, the benefits of certain things. I'll tell you this. So this happened in the middle of May. By June 1st, I bought the domain Melody Clouds. And where we sit today is 300,000 files, a website, 2 apps, one on the iOS, one on the Android. And we were, going, headlong. I mean,
Wow.
yeah, everything. I've got 8,000 hours of old time radio that's being uploaded to the website right now because I really want people to relax. That's what the
Yeah.
whole thing is about.
So how does the old time radio play into that?
Well, look, a lot of people have never heard some of those episodes.
Uh-huh.
I hear a lot of people complaining that, there's no imagination and no, well, guess what? Let me reintroduce you to things that you've never heard before, but are amazing entertainment.
Oh, okay.
Um, Aesop's fables. You may remember learning about Aesop's fables when you were a kid. Well, it totally pained me to learn that they're not teaching the things that Socrates and Plato learned at Aesop's feet. We're no longer teaching our children. Uh-uh. So I
Mm.
have a Hall of Fame winning radio announcer reading these stories: Fox and the Grapes, The Crane and the Wolf, all of these stories designed to teach our kids these very important lessons. And I'm happy to do it. I mean, I'm very excited about it. So it's not
Yeah.
just the binaural beats and the solfeggio,
Hmm.
it's guided meditations, it's nature sounds. I've got a lot of content on there.
That's amazing. So tell us more about you've talked a little bit about how binaural beats work. Talk about solfeggio tones
Okay.
they're so it's fascinating when we start talking
Yeah,
about
to me
frequency.
too. I look. I was just learning about this stuff as well, and in the 11th century, a monk named Guido di Arezzo made the observation that even though you can't play a musical instrument, you can tell when it's out of tune.
Mm.
Okay, I don't play a guitar, I don't play a piano, I don't play a musical instrument, but I know when someone's doing it poorly. I know
Yeah,
when, that guitar needs to be tuned, or that singer, I recognize that I can't sing.
yeah.
Okay. So solfeggio is that ability to recognize when things are in tune and the vibrations are pure and, have a better word for it, but healthy. Okay.
Mhm.
Solfeggio helps you um, bring that back into focus, in other words. And it does the same things, calming, if you want to relax, solfeggio frequencies are very good for relaxation because it brings all of that back into a sharper focus, a sharper balance.
So would you say that because like we humans have frequency, we have frequency within us, we have energy, we are energy beings. So it's that the audible frequency that we're hearing that's kind of resonating with the frequency that we are, and that's
So
where the
your
magic is
brain
happening?
waves are you we okay, so our that's how our brain communicates, as electrical impulses, brain waves. Those brain waves are at frequency. So in different frequencies. So what we're finding out is when you're angry, that it's a different frequency than when you're communicating at a different frequency than if you're happy.
Mhm.
That's why a binaural beat works as well as it does. It brings that you go from one frequency to another frequency, okay, in your transmissions.
Mhm.
Um, and look, I'm not a doctor, but I read enough and I know enough that this is what the literature, that's where they're trying to
Mhm.
go. The 70s, we did a lot of research when it came to this. A lot of movies like Scanners, a lot of movies were, trying to manipulate ESP and brain waves, and we knew that there was something there. Okay.
Mhm.
And once I started thinking about this, here's the proof. Here's the proof. So if you and I go into a Catholic church or any church where there's an organ play,
Mhm.
we don't even have to know what was going on in that church, right? You and I could go in, we would know automatically to lower our voice, to become very reverent. We hear that music, and without even looking at one another, we'll know, lower your voice. Okay.
Mhm.
But if we left there and went directly across the street and we went to a Southern Baptist church where they're singing praise music, there's no way that you can help not being uplifted. Your hands go above your head and you feel that euphoria, that praise.
Mhm.
Or this is how far back it goes. Let's say that we're in the Middle Ages, or we're even further back than that. We communicated to other tribes, other civilizations. We're about ready to go to war. How? Through drums, through chanting, through music. So this communication has been with us for forever. And you
Mm.
can take someone from heavy grief to them being okay, or to be euphoric, to be happy, just through those uh through that music.
Mm. I love it. So I know that you like you were mentioning when we started, where you're like, I am not woo woo.
Yeah.
You're very, very grounded. Um, if you ever want to scratch the woo woo itch, have you explored the chakra system at
I am.
all?
I'm looking, because what I want to do is I want to provide a lot of these things for other people. And
Yeah.
in that journey, I am starting to um, learn a bit more, open
Yeah.
myself up a bit more to other guided meditation, for example. We have 3,000 hours of guided meditation. I realized how important that was. A lot of people don't know. They want to meditate. They've heard about meditation. They know that it can relax and calm you. But they
Mhm.
don't know how to get started.
Right.
And a
Absolutely.
guided meditation is perfect for that,
Yeah.
because you have someone who can lead you.
Right.
I have another story about guided meditation. I had absolutely no idea, and no crunch to me at
Yeah.
all. I am like super. I get breakout in hives when I see Birkenstocks, or smell incense burning. Okay, I'm just that's just not me. All right, but I go into this men's group that I belong to, metal, and Art Geyser is really good at this, and yeah, I played along. I was okay, I'll play along, and immediately, I mean, at the sound of his voice, really, it was very. The first time was a very disconcerting feeling, to be honest with you, because it
Really.
worked so well.
Wow.
Subsequently, I understood exactly what was going on, and it's become, I won't say a regular occurrence, but I definitely know when it's become a benefit to me.
Mm. So you mean like you heard his voice and you were able to go into a meditative
We did a
state?
guided meditation. It felt like to me I was, slipping and
Uh-huh.
not at the same time. So it felt like I was moving. It felt,
Mm.
and I came out of that. The first time it was, I got to say, it was very interesting, to say the least. But
Yeah.
other times that I have done that with Art, it's been very, um, I've gotten a lot of clarity. How's that?
Mhm. Yeah.
I've been able to think way more clearly. I've been able to focus my intellect to a pinpoint,
Yeah.
and it's really been a benefit to me. So,
That's amazing.
yeah,
Well, so the reason that I brought up the chakra system is that the chakras also vibrate at certain frequencies. And so you can match up the solfeggio tone with the chakra. And if you know, so for people who that does appeal to, that might be something to think about on your site, where it's like, oh, do you want to look at this same material but by chakra type,
yeah.
as like a search. But
There is no doubt that Melody Clouds is going to be, and already is to a certain degree, a platform where all of these things are going to be offered, whether it's guided meditation or whether it's motivational speaking. If
yeah,
you need to be, or we have
uplifted.
a 10-part hypnosis where we are helping people with smoking cessation, with PTSD. So it's going to be, and already is to a large degree, a place where you can go and be introduced at the very least, and a lot of it is, um, there's a lot of information there already for
Mhm.
much of this stuff, right?
Right, right.
um, so I'm very interested in making this you know that kind of place, Melody
Right.
Clouds being that kind of place.
Yeah, yeah, that's beautiful. So, are there any side effects to using sound to help with healing?
Yes, we are very. But none of them bad. There's no, I mean, if you're asking about negative side effects, we've yet to find those. I mean, we've been listening to music for, thousands of years.
Yeah.
So it would be settled. I mean, if anything is settled science, they like throwing that word around. If anything's settled science, then that should be it.
Yeah.
Um, look, but the side effects, yes, you become calmer. You may be able to adjust your mood according to where you want it to be rather than your circumstances. You may be able to sleep a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
So those are all side effects that very pleasant side effects, if you ask me. But as far as binaural beats or solfeggio in specific,
Mm-hmm.
as far as I've not heard or read of any negative long-term side effects from any of those things. Now, th- even if there were, we have medications that are on the market right now. I'm taking some of them myself, but everyone takes medications, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's not something that necessarily deters someone from taking that medication. So with anything else, you weigh the benefit with what possible side effects they would have.
Right, right.
And I will also say that this doesn't work the same way on every person.
Mm-hmm.
And that to me also screams reality and screams science,
Yeah.
because what works for me, if it worked for everyone, I would really be questioning
Yeah.
that thing,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and it makes sense, right? Because every person, because we are energy beings, and again, I might be going to granola for you, but because we are energy beings, we all have different frequencies within us, and some of them might be more like out of alignment or need work. One
Mhm.
person who might be dealing with depression, for example, their frequency is not going to be the same as somebody who's experiencing anxiety. And so, if we're talking about trying to affect them with frequency, you would need two different frequencies for two different, because you're addressing two different frequencies.
Two different things, right? Well, look,
Right.
again, that is very true. And here, let me give you an example of what you're talking about. Okay, so let's say that someone has become injured
Mm-hmm.
and badly. We don't set them aside and leave them where they were injured. We pick them up and we transport them to what we call a hospital. And there's a reason we do that, because in the hospital, they'll be kept safe and warm and be fed, and they'll be dry and out of the elements. And the reason that we do that is because our brain is what determines where our resources go in our bodies. So, in order to heal, you have to take yourself out of the fight or flight
Mm-hmm.
mentality or mental state.
Mm-hmm.
You follow
Right.
me?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So you cannot, if you're constantly on the run, if you're constantly in fear, under stress, you're not going to heal your body. Okay.
Right.
So that's why we take people to the hospital. They can be calm. And okay, that is solfeggio, and that is binaural beats in a nutshell right there. We are transporting those brain waves. We're putting that person in a state of relaxation and focusing those energies, that body, those resources to specific things for you, basically, or
Mm.
helping you get there.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. That's
Yeah.
wonderful. So, what about optimizing your health as one ages? Is this something that sound is good for? Do you have any thoughts about
100%.
that?
And the reason that I laugh is right before we started this, I was telling you, look, for me, look, I'm 55 years old. I feel 85 years old. Okay. I need all the help I can get. Okay. I wake up in the morning and I feel like, reporting whoever beat me all night to the police. It is horrifying. Getting older really is terrible. But what you can do, though, is you can maintain. You can stop doing the damage that you've been doing your entire life. I mentioned to you, I spent 8 years in the military. I before that and during that, I was in the rodeo. I did a lot of rodeo when I was younger. Um, you know, Trying to keep your weight down, trying to keep exercising and keep everything moving. Those are paramount if you plan on, or even if you don't plan on living, a great number of years,
Mm.
right? I mean, so for me right now, it is a race to maintain as much of what I have left as long as I have left.
Yeah.
How's that?
I love that. And I love what you're talking about with that foundational kind of, because it really is about getting the most out of our experience, whether we're 20 or 55, it is, I mean, you mentioned something, I don't think we were recording yet, but how we feel bulletproof when we're younger,
Oh
and it's like we
man.
might be told, don't listen to loud music, and we can understand it conceptually, but we also feel like, well, I'm not a 60-year-old person. I can hear just fine. So, you know.
Look, the one thing I've got three girls, and the one thing every time I see them with headphones in or those earbuds in and stuff, I let them know.
Mm.
I mean, it is a serious thing. Dennis, I've Melody Clouds. We've been getting a lot of feedback, and the feedback that we're getting mainly positive. And one group that has been most positive has been the dental community.
No
Um,
kidding.
yeah,
What's the
dentists
link there?
and their assistants, because of those drills, seem to have operated at a frequency that's done a lot of damage to people's hearing.
Really?
Now they've got a lot of silent drills, but for the people my age, the dentists my age and a little bit younger, before those things came out, they there's a lot of tinnitus, a lot of tinnitus in that community. And so we're getting a lot of feedback from them going, whoa, this is awesome. Thanks, for pointing this out to us.
Yeah.
But look, until we come up with treatments, there is no cure for tinnitus. There's no treatment for it, even. This is mainly used to kind of, I won't say mask it, but definitely, it puts you in a space where you can hear that
Yeah.
silence again.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the minute that you're not listening to the binaural beat, here comes the screeching again.
Mhm.
So, hate to burst anybody's bubble, but that's where we are. And
Well,
until
it'd be interesting to see over time. I mean, that is a limitation currently. It's one of those things, like, I'm fascinated by the fact of like a 4-minute mile and how that was impossible for so
Mhm.
long. And then somebody did it, and then people just started doing it like, it just, one
Yeah.
person after another. It was like once that threshold had been opened,
Yep.
it was like, oh, it's possible. And then people started, almost like they just gave themselves permission. This is not a problem that I have. When I used to run, I was lucky to get a 9-minute mile or a 10-minute mile. But anyway, so hats off to anybody who can get anything close to that. But
Well, look, they use a calendar to time my mile. So, I don't know. I mean, 9 minutes sounds like a really good time to me. Okay. But when you're using, what day do you think you'll be here for my mile? You know,
Oh, that's hilarious. I love that. But it makes me wonder, like, maybe we don't know exactly what the possibilities are yet for sound, where it's like, at the moment, it's not a long term. It's one of those, like, it's kind of a bandage that you get the benefit while you use it. But who knows, if you were to use it a lot, it might be something that you slowly do get some healing through it.
Yeah, there's absolutely. I mean, oh, look, I 100%. My main focus right now is letting people know that this is available. Look, there are a lot of medications that only work when you're taking them, and that, hey, look, that's okay. It's available, so you take the medication, and you get the benefit from it, right? But there's also innovation when it comes to healing, that we can experience, and
Yeah.
whether that comes in the form of binaural beats, solfeggio, whether something else comes up, there's a laser treatment for those nerves, who knows? What I'm saying is that, bringing someone temporary relief from something, look, I don't know that there's anything better that I could be doing with my life right now.
Absolutely. And the thing that I love, I mean, you talk about medication. I mean, not that there's necessarily something for tinnitus, but anytime, in my opinion, that we have something like sound, I mean, sound is the basis of what the universe is created on. It's sound and light. And these are foundational parts of this reality. And so if we can use that to help us come more into wholeness and to help us to get relief, it's like it's helping us to align more to our natural state rather than like, okay, let's just, throw some chemicals at this problem. It's like, well,
I
let's
couldn't agree with that more. I mean,
right.
I don't
So
know how, you know, yeah, I mean, that just, I don't think that that could be the, final answer. All of those drugs that we are constantly, prescribing people. I just
right.
don't know that how that is a permanent long-term answer. Now, I will say, there's miracles in pills as well. There's
Yeah,
a
for
lot of
sure.
people that are, no longer suffering from depression, or it's not as crushing,
Yeah.
because of the prescription that they've been given.
Yeah.
So, I know what uplifts me, and
Mhm.
I know what uplifts millions and millions of other people.
Mhm.
And I have never taken any kind of medication for that at all. What I've done is turned on the radio. I've turned on, put in a CD, or listen to me, but you know, I've downloaded music to make that happen for me. And
Mhm.
I know that there are millions and millions of people that they have their jam. You know what I mean? They hear a song on the radio and immediately pick up,
Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
get excited when 5 seconds ago they were dead asleep.
Right. I love it. I love it. And I as a meditation teacher, I teach some meditation classes in addition to the other work that I do. And I had a client, I mean, it's been a couple of years ago now, but I am often talking to my clients about sound and just how powerful sound can be and how we can use sound in our healing. And this one particular woman had a desk job. She was at her desk from, well, we'll say 9 to 5. I think it was more like 7 to 3 or something like that. But, um, and she listened to pop music all day long. Like, just that was her thing. She worked, I think she was a help desk, support desk kind of person. And so she was there all the time and she always had music going in the background. And I told her about solfeggio tones in particular. And I told her how to find them and, just to get a playlist going. And she reported back that she'd been listening to them all day long. So, 8, 9,
Wow.
10 hours a day in the background. So it's not like she's, in meditation. She just has it on in the background.
Yeah.
And she did that for a series of days or weeks, or I can't remember how long she did it, but she felt a profound shift within her. And that
Yeah.
just, I mean, it really was a beautiful illustration of the power of sound. Because again, she's working, she's talking to other people, but if we think about these waves, it's energy, it's waves of energy. So even if we're not focused on it, even if we're not like consciously attuned to it, these waves of sound are coming into our being, our waves of energy, and they're affecting them. They can't not affect them. So it's very, very powerful. And it's a testament to, how you are spending your time right now and what you are delivering to the public to make these things easily accessible and very, I think I can't remember now what the monthly price is. It $5.99 a month? I mean,
Yeah,
it's like
yeah,
you're giving
I'm
it away.
doing that. I was just gonna say, so it's a great segue. I was just gonna say, and doing that at a price point where I really make people feel foolish for saying no.
Yeah.
We're doing $2.99 for 60 days just to try it.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's $5.99 a month. Now, my closest, if you want to try it with someone else, the closest to that is triple that price. So I think we're heading into a place where I didn't think that it was necessary to charge people an arm and a leg. This is not about me. Hey, Wayne's going to go get rich. That's not what this is about. This really, I'm putting my money where my mouth is. I love that saying, and that's what I'm doing.
Right.
Um, and I'll go back and I'll say to you that yes, you can even take someone with binaural beats. They don't necessarily have to. After a while, after you've gotten yourself used to listening to these frequencies, where you play a binaural beat and they can discern each frequency on their own without earphones, without it being directly delivered in each ear, and achieve the same thing.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
I have a lot of people that are doing that now. And I will also say that anyone that doubts this, the sleep, okay, I get so many people contacting me going, hey, what did you do? Because if you are a mind racer, if you lay in bed and you're thinking all of these thoughts, which is me, I mean, that is 100% me. I will go to bed every single night and then my mind kicks into high gear and it makes it very difficult to sleep. But I can put in a solfeggio or most likely a binaural beat and drops me like a sack of potatoes. It is crazy. And I'll sleep very deeply.
Wow.
And those frequencies, again, those frequencies are detailed in melody clouds. And one thing I will tell you, that one of the things we are working very hard at right now is being able to take those frequencies and putting them in every type of music. So any song you're listening to, being able to cover that with binaural beat. Because
Wow.
the way that it is now, you can't do that. You have to listen to a specific type of music, and maybe you don't like listening to that type of music. Maybe I want to be able to listen to whatever type of music I want to listen to and have my binaural beat or my solfeggio frequency covering that. So we're
Wow.
working very hard. It's a very technical thing to do,
Yeah.
working very hard to make that happen for people. And then I expect to see a pretty big explosion as far as melody clouds go if we can pull that off.
Yeah.
Right now, we have what we're about to release is nature sounds. So
Oh,
you'll be able to create your own environment very shortly with melody clouds. Go in if you want to listen to nature sounds. You'll be able to pick and choose fire or ocean or river or what, and create all of these sounds together. Put a binaural beat with it, and a
oh
lot of
man.
fun playing with that. I've had
That's,
so much fun, creating my own environments and stuff.
that's amazing.
But already there's 300,000 files that are on there right now, and it's certainly I've not had anyone tell me that it's not worth the price. That should have been the first thing out of people's mouths if I wasn't hitting that correctly.
Right.
And I will mention two other things. Number one, neither the Android app or the iOS app allow for anyone to collect your data while you're using that app.
Mm.
So not only do I not want your personal data, but I'm not allowing anyone to collect your data while the app is going.
That's
Okay.
beautiful.
So
Yeah.
put your money where your mouth is. Do you want people collecting your information? If not, this is a way, I'm not interested in it. You know what I mean?
Right, right.
And the second thing that I would say is, well, I forgot what the second thing I was going to say. So, there you go. I got to go back into my notes. So
Yeah.
how about that?
Well, why don't you tell us how people can find Melody Clouds and more information about you?
Okay, so melodyclouds.com, that's our website. They can reach me at Wayne Altman at melodyclouds.com. I have a very full email box, but I get back to everybody.
You do? I've been in touch with you.
Right?
Yes,
I'm pretty good about that.
you are.
And we're doing a lot of partnerships. Witty, we're some I really am not at liberty to talk about right now, but we're doing a lot of partnerships with different organizations because I really think that that's a very key way of reaching people.
Yeah.
And the the best way I think to get in touch with me, my email address, and you can also get through touch with me through the Android app or the iOS app.
Oh, okay, through like the support.
Yeah. Okay. Guess what? The largest button on Melody Clouds, no matter what app, no matter what, wherever you go, the largest button on Melody Clouds. I want you to guess what button that is.
Report a problem or support, you
Actually,
thinking?
pretty good. Actually, it is the uninstall or
Oh,
the.
right. I knew it was something counterintuitive because we've talked about it before. You and I
Oh, that's
have
right.
met. We have met in a previous when we weren't recording, and I
Yeah.
remembered it was something
So
that
I
was
wanted people
not
to
what
understand
you
that
normally
if
find.
you don't want, I am not a hard person to quit.
Yeah.
I mean, I am working on it, but I am, if this isn't working for you, I want you to know that
Mm.
that's fine, no harm, no foul.
Yeah.
And I make it very easy for people who want to join up, and I make it equally easy. You're not going to have to go searching around for the, stop the subscription button,
Beautiful.
disengage.
Yeah, yeah. Wonderful. Well, Wayne, this has just been such a delight. Thank you so much. And thank you for your dedication for bringing this, natural solution for these very real and debilitating in a lot of cases, issues that people are having in terms of their mental health and their physical health as well. So,
Yeah, aside from the tinnitus, really being able to help uplift people that may be feeling, depressed, and
mhm.
that really was that really is a driving factor.
Yeah.
De-stressing people and helping them through, when they're a little sadder, grief. Being able to block someone's grief is a very good feeling,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
hope that people will give us a chance.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much, Wayne. Thanks for
It's great
being
talking
here.
to you.